Well, the month of February, where things really start to heat up in the Big Ten Conference, the Badgers reaching the halfway point of league play with a tough overtime loss in Lincoln against Nebraska, where the Huskers have yet to lose a conference game in their home facility. We'll have the highlights from that game. We'll check in with Badgers Chief of Staff for men's basketball operations, Mark Vandewettering, talking about scheduling. He's the guy who puts it all together. And we'll visit with Associate Head Coach Joe Krabbenhoft. All coming up on this week's edition of the Badgers Sports Report.
Here's Klesman on the left wing. Shot fake. Drives baseline on Tominaga. Runs it out to Storr. Fakes the three. Sidesteps. Takes the three. And makes the three. 2 strokes. 6 points for A.J. Storr in the opening minute and a half. Hands off to Storr against Bryce Williams. The feed wall, sends it back to Storr, puts it on the deck to the left elbow. Jumper is good, and to say A.J. Storr is feeling it would be a bit of an understatement. 10-4 Wisconsin. And now Essegian left corner, scoops at the wall with 10 on the shot clock. Now to Connor, open three, left corner, book it. Connor Essegian left wide open. He makes the Huskers pay. 21-8 Wisconsin. Max Klesman is in. A.J. Storr, sideline right, will inbound. Hoops it into Hepburn, tapped it back to Storr, right side. He'll take the three. It's good.
What a play.
Great play. Absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
That was like a volleyball tap is what that was. To Josiah Alec outside left. A pass for Wilcher. It's stolen by Hepburn. Wilcher off his hip. Chucky glides to the goal. Layup good. A Chucky special. A pilfer and a layup.
Chucky's responsible for the last 7 points here.
38-23. Wisconsin, another steal by Hepburn. Williams chasing. Chucky to the rim. Layup good. It counts on a foul. Chucky Hepburn coming home and doing damage to Nebraska.
This is Wisconsin basketball. And Wall with a steal. Tyler with the pilfer. Down the lane. Slam dunk. 3-on-1. Flips the Storr. Down the lane. And he hammers it with the right hand. With 2. Hepburn down. Off the glass. Off the glass. Slips it in the crowd. Low on the left. Slam dunk. Another 3-point hit for Connor Essegian.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors. BuildingWisconsinTogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week. It's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop. And count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line, innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one. During training, no school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
As much as things might be changing in college athletics, one thing, especially around here, stays the same, and that's player development. And fans have really enjoyed watching players grow and develop in their time, and they're enjoying a lot this year. And with that, we bring in Badgers Associate Head Coach Joe Krabenhoft. That's why you coach, right? To see guys get better, freshman, sophomore, junior. You got a lot of guys who've made some jumps so far this season, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could go down the list. It's really neat to see specifically, I think, some of the bigger guys develop because their bodies literally transform over their time here. And Stephen Crowell comes to mind. Remember his days when he was kind of in Nolan Winter's shoes, and there was guys named Micah Potter and Nate Reavers kind of throwing him around a little bit in practice, but we could see the skill and the fire burning within to be great, and it just took 3 or 4 summers with Jim Schneider to get him to this point. He's had a lot of success along the way, obviously, a part of a big piece of a Big Ten championship team and so on and so forth, but I think we're really seeing the development piece kind of shine through with a guy like Steven, and Tyler's another one I think over the years has just continued to add to his game and to his body to become a very efficient and prolific player for us. So it is a developmental program. It has been for a long time, way before my time here with Coach Ryan, but it'll continue to be because that's what this is all about.
Are you noticing with those two guys too, just to as a couple of examples, with the experience, strength, the confidence with it, because Stevie could go right hand, left hand, and score in different ways. Tyler as well. You just seeing more confident guys there too.
Yeah, and that confidence comes from your preparation and the work you put in. There's no doubt about it. And both those guys have been committed to their bodies first and foremost, and the time with Coach Schneider in the weight room. And with that, when you step on the floor, you kind of look in the mirror on your way out to the floor and you go, I can do this. And Steve and Tyler kind of came to us pretty blessed players. I mean, really skilled, well coached in high school, both of them from the Minneapolis area, and just really a good package of offensive skill set. And so when you start with that, we're pretty lucky as coaches. Then we kind of rub our hands together and dream of the possibilities, and both those guys are kind of making those dreams come true for us and for themselves, and it's fun to watch because they both have become really, really good players inside and outside.
I know Coach Gard has mentioned many times that the best teams that he's seen here are the player-driven, where the older guys help the younger guys. I mean, you live that. You know, you had guys probably mentoring you, and then you in turn mentored others. You seeing that with these upperclassmen, those two guys, if it's Max, Chucky, for that matter, as a junior, are you seeing that continuing with this group?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I think you could go down the list and talk about each guy here, but starting with our point guard, I think he's been through a lot, as a freshman to come in and lead a team at that position. Obviously he had a pretty good sidekick in Johnny Davis and the all-time leader, Brad Davison, but, he was given charge with the task of being the point guard at a young age, and he learned a lot. He had a lot of success, and last year, kind of stepping into maybe a more prominent role with those two sidekicks gone, and, went through some ups and downs as anybody will, and now oftentimes in a huddle or in a practice or in the locker room, things are handled before coach even gets in his chair or coach even enters into the locker room, and that's exactly what you want to see. I was fortunate to be a part of those locker rooms with Coach Ryan, and that's what we've been building here, and that's what we've had here many times, but this group has really done a good job with that, because it's not just Chucky, it's guys like Tyler and Max, and you listed them, and even Steve has found his voice, and for a big guy to be able to do that says a lot, because often those guys aren't the loudest, but when they do talk, everybody listens, and Steve's been through a lot too as a player, playing all the minutes he has, so it really helps the young guys hit the ground running, and they're prepared for every moment we can throw at them.
Well, clearly fans are seeing a team that's scoring at a higher clip here so far this season as we talk, but I imagine some things never change here. You got to guard guys, and Coach has mentioned a guy like A.J. Storr has made some strides there, and even Coach Gard has quipped, well, there was room to grow there and still more room. But he is picking things up here, isn't he, at that end of the floor?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. He's improved immensely from June when he got here till now. as coach would say, and we all know as a staff, and I'm sure anybody who knows the game, there's room to grow. But that's not just AJ; that's everybody. But you know, he's a freshman in our system. He's new to it, and he's learning. But it's refreshing to have a guy like AJ, because there's so much room to grow, so much potential to be great in literally anything we throw at him, and he is as coachable of a talented player as we've ever had. When you combine his talent with his ability to be coached, it's really fun for us to go to work with him every day, and I think we're going to continue to see the growth on both ends of the floor. And if we can see it, you know, on offense, he's going to make us look like really good coaches. If we can continue to see his improvement on defense, I think we could be a heck of a ball club, and he's going to continue to be a great player.
After this break, we'll have more with Badgers Associate Head Coach Joe Krabenhoft.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. We believe in financial security for Wisconsin public school employees and their families. WEA Member Benefits, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. WEABenefits.com.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.
I had big dreams. Then I got sick. UW Health made it their mission to give me a fresh start and a new kidney. Now my dreams are infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
I've talked to so many guys over the years, either who played for you guys and Coach Gard or Coach Ryan, about the adjustment high school to college, and it is the defensive concepts that's the biggest challenge. You know, most guys could probably score at a good clip at the high school level. You know, walk us through that even in your playing days. What were the biggest hurdles or the biggest challenges, just understanding everything that is expected of someone on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, as simple as we try to make it, and I think that's what has helped us to sustain our success on the defensive end, which, you know, in turn, all the wins come with that, I think. But as simple as I think this program has made it, it is an adjustment. There's a lot more that goes into the simplicity of our defense, and I think the biggest adjustment is probably understanding the scouting reports. You know, you can pick up the rules, you can pick up, you know, the tendencies and the things you're supposed to do, and then how do you apply it as the teams and the jerseys change, and maybe the left-hand dominant or the right-hand dominant. So you just got to continue to, you know, absorb all that. It's like being a student in a classroom, in a class you've never taken. You know, coming in and learning defense from Coach Gard or Coach Ryan. It literally is, you know, for my first time in the accounting room. You know, it's like I didn't know all this stuff, and you have to adjust on the fly and learn and try to put it out in practice every day. So it's a neat thing, and we're lucky we got a good group that is very coachable.
Well, it wasn't like your college career ended, you know, years and years ago, but I've got to imagine, Joe, that there's so much more information available now, like for you as a coach, than maybe even in 2008. Is that true? I mean, you have to be maybe careful not to deep dive too much, but you like to look into that.
Well, Coach Ryan's, you know, VHS tapes are now, you know, wirelessly transmitted onto my laptop by our video coordinator, AJ Van Handel. So information comes to us a lot faster, and a lot deeper than it used to. And that's a credit to guys like Coach Ryan, who probably had to work a little harder for that information. It's just at the snap of a fingers, I can have all that information on our opponents. But the older you get, I think, as a player, the more your comprehension level at understanding what needs to be done to be successful on the defensive end or on offense, how to kind of weed through all the information and understand what's important, because oftentimes as complex and as much information as we have, the game comes down to some simple things, and we try to balance that really well by diving deep and understanding all the analytics and everything we can while keeping it as simple as possible so our guys can play fast and play free.
And then finally, of all the numbers, and Coach Ryan introduced this to a lot of folks who follow the Badgers, it's still points per possession, right? That is about as consistent a stat as anything that's out there, right?
Yeah, that at the end of the day, that'll tell you how good a basketball team you are on both ends of the floor, and it's amazing. You know, I didn't know, I never heard of points per possession until my first day of practice, and then by my last practice, boy, I knew exactly where we were every single day, because I didn't want to run a 16 if the scout team got over 1 point per possession. And you know, it's fun to see guys like Chucky, who I bet you he didn't know, but now he's in the locker room after a game. How many possessions did we have? Did they get over one? Because it's a sense of pride to be able to hold a team under one, and offensively, you know, be efficient enough and take care of the ball enough to be over one. And especially as we go into Big Ten play, that's not an easy thing to do, and that's why those goals are in place, and they were set in place before us, and we're going to take it and run with it as long as it continues to work.
Final question. The good news is you guys have a lot of depth. There's a lot of guys who can get out and practice every day. Selfishly, though, I miss watching you on the scout team out there kind of bringing it. Is there a part of you that's still now and then, or are you good? Maybe just
boy, when I see guys like A.J. Storr and John Blackwell come into this program, it's a friendly reminder that I don't belong out there with these guys anymore. And my wife is happy about that. So let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's a very fair answer. He's Associate Head Coach Joe Kravinoff. We'll take a break. More to come as we continue with the Badgers Sports Report.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Bananas are only 39 cents a pound at Hy-Vee. That's not a sale price. That's the price with the Hy-Vee Perks membership. And 39 cents a pound is not just the price today or this week, it's the Perks price every day. With the Hy-Vee Perks membership, you can save on hundreds of products store-wide every time you shop, and count on Perks prices to stay the same. So if you want to pay less for bananas every day, sign up for Hy-Vee Perks. It's free and easy.
WEA Member Benefits, dedicated to helping Wisconsin public school employees become financially secure with programs designed for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
If we did a deep dive into the responsibilities of the Chief of Staff for basketball operations at Wisconsin, it'd probably be a 4 or 5 part series, but for the purpose of this program today, we want to talk scheduling. We do this with Coach Gard during the course of really any season, and he generally defers to Mark Vandewettering, who handles that as said Chief of Staff for basketball operations, joined now by Mark. And the schedule this year, we've talked about it, the non-conference schedule, really, really challenging, and there's been a payoff, or at least there appears to be. Give us an idea of what goes into it. What is there a general directive that Coach Gard will say, okay, Mark, this is what we're looking for, see what you can go find?
Yeah, I mean, year to year, Coach wants to go out and challenge ourselves. You know, it's what our guys want. It's good for the fans, good for college basketball in general. So, you know, in general, it's let's go challenge ourselves. Let's go out and prove ourselves, give ourselves a chance to get some good quality wins in the non-conference. So the overarching theme year to year is that. And then, you know, you got to look at it, you know, which team you've got and what you're expecting to have for that coming season. So, you know, going into the offseason last year, coming off the NIT run, we felt pretty good being able to retain everybody. And Coach was confident. I think we've got a chance to be a pretty special team. So I took that directive as, all right, let's have some fun. So, you know, you go out and start the hunt and go have some conversations with some people, see what's available. You know, there's some things that are locked in advance, you know, different, the Marquette series or the conference challenges, things like that. You know, but I think obviously the one this year that stuck out was adding the Arizona series late in the process when, you know, you maybe just would have wanted a guarantee game in that place. But, you know, I think we knew that challenging this core group in the non-conference would pay dividends in the conference season.
I remember in past years I would hear, if it was Coach Ryan, even Greg would talk about it, where it was really hard to get those home and homes with the more recognized programs. They just really weren't crazy about playing Wisconsin for whatever reason. It's becoming a little bit more manageable now, though, by getting the Tennessees and the Arizonas of the world?
For sure. I think there's a better understanding across the country now of the value of home and homes. Like I said before, it's good for the fans, and it start there, and good for college basketball. There's iconic venues across our game. So playing in those games in those arenas where you can pack the house full of your own fans is good, and it preps you for the non-conference season. Like, we're going to go through the Big Ten, and we're going to play in those iconic venues across the conference. So let's get our guys ready, get them a taste of it early. But yeah, it's become more understood, I would say, across the country. And there's coaches like Tommy Lloyd at Arizona who understand the value of it for the game, but also for his team. And then we'll get a chance to get them back here next year.
Absolutely. So does Coach Gard have a bucket list saying, "Can you get us?" Fill in the blank.
Yes.
I won't be exact here, but he said, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if?" So you've got that bucket list for him?
Yeah, I mean I got a list of names on my board that he'd like to go play. But yeah, I mean, like, he's been around a lot, so we've seen a lot of the venues, and there's some coaches he'd like to go up against if possible. He was in talks with Mick Cronin at UCLA, but obviously we'll get the taste of them here coming up in future conference seasons. So there's certainly a little short list of teams we'd love to get on the schedule.
Well, we've seen the Badger fans have traveled really well to these tournaments. If it's Maui, if it's the Bahamas, this year Fort Myers. What goes into that? How does that match up where the Badgers land in some of these really good tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's credit to our fans. We get approached by a lot of different tournament organizers because they know our fans will show up, and that's what they're looking for. They're looking for packed arenas to put on a good event and a good showcase for the teams in the tournament. So, our fans travel really, really well no matter where we go. We go to Fort Myers, New York, Maui, anywhere across the country, our Badger fans are going to be there for us. So we're super fortunate that way. But yeah, I mean, it's something we forecast out, a few years in advance. That's one of the earlier ones that we get locked into before, we kind of get into those home and home series. But it's something that we're always evaluating, trying to find new things, new tournaments. We're getting approached about going to new ones all the time. Our 2024 and 25 tournaments will be newer tournaments. And then we're, looking to get back into those Atlantis, Maui rotations as well. So it's a fun endeavor because we get to treat the fans. We can spread it across the country and get Badger fans everywhere.
So you mentioned next year, the year after. You want every year you would like to, right, be involved in one of these 4-team events at least.
Yeah, I mean that's ideally we get in one of those MTEs, those multiple team events that maximizes our schedule. So ideally it's a 4-game or a 4-team 2-game format for us. It works out better that way because then we can have the flexibility to add a home and home, which we talked about is important for us. So those are ideal, but you're not going to say no to a Maui field. So if you get a chance to go get that invite, we're certainly going to take advantage of that whenever we can.
Final thought, I know you're big into the metrics, the net ranking, Ken Palm and all that, and the schedule has certainly helped that you have played. You're in a really good spot as we do this interview. When should the average fan really start? Now, everybody's looking at bracketology, this, that, or the other, but if net rankings, Ken Palm, when should a fan really start to okay, I want to look at this every day now. I know you look at it like November, but for
it's
the
tempting.
fans.
It's tempting, because they come out so early, and it's game by game. It's a showcase up and down. Where you're going to go here or there, and it's exciting because it gets people talking about the game, right? But analytically, you want to get enough data in there to make sure that it makes sense. You're going to have some outliers if you look too early in the season. So we're creeping up on that time. We're like, okay, this might actually be where it is right now. So I'd say that early to mid-February is the good timeline to start paying attention to it, get those numbers in the mix, and see where you might fall on Selection Sunday.
So there you go. That time is approaching, Badger fans. Fun time of year. College basketball really starts to take center stage. We'll take a break. We have more to come as we continue with the Badger Sports Report.
I had big dreams. Then I got sick. UW Health made it their mission to give me a fresh start and a new kidney. Now my dreams are infinite. UW Health. Remarkable.
These are operating engineers. They operate top-of-the-line innovative machines and build stuff that matters. And operating engineers are well paid. They even get paid to train. As an apprentice, you can make $56,000 a year from day one. During training, no school loans and no debt. When your training is complete, you'll have a stable career job that is high skill, high tech, and high pay. We need operating engineers right now. Your future can begin today.
After a serious accident, you'll need a team to fight for the results you deserve. We're here for you whenever you need us. Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
The Badger Sports Report is presented by UW Health. UW Health Sports Medicine, treating the Badgers, treating you. And is brought to you by the Construction Business Group, Wisconsin operating engineers and respected contractors. BuildingWisconsinTogether.com. And by Gruber Law Offices, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. One call, that's all.
Following Sunday's home game with the Purdue Boilermakers, the Badgers will spend most of the week on the road. A Wednesday night matchup in Ann Arbor against the Michigan Wolverines, and from there, it's on to Piscataway for a Saturday game against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. We'll talk to you next week. Thanks for watching.
This has been a presentation from Learfield.
I've always been a storyteller. I capture those beautiful moments, things other people miss. My health took an unexpected turn, but my care team put my needs in focus, designing solutions to support my ambitions. Now that's just a footnote in my journey, a small part of a story that's still being written. UW Health, remarkable.
We believe in education. We believe in public schools. At WEA Member Benefits, we believe in helping Wisconsin public school employees and their families achieve their financial goals by providing personal insurance, retirement and investment, and financial planning programs that are designed specifically for the education community. Proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics, WEAbenefits.com.
My favorite breakfast is Odyssey yogurt. I asked Mommy where it comes from, and she took me to a dairy farm to learn all about milk and, most importantly, cows. Wisconsin cows are definitely the happiest, which means they make the tastiest yogurt. My favorite is blueberry. What's your flavor? Support your local farmers. EIEI Odyssey.